Hey everybody, Claire here, and look who I have with me. Hey, it's my beautiful, lovely cousin Erica, who I'm sure all of you guys remember from the many times she's been on here. Instead of Erica doing my face today, we're actually gonna take a moment to sit down and talk a little bit about her job. And I'm doing this whole series on my friends who work in creative industries, and I just wanted to kind of pull the curtain back and show everybody how much work goes into these jobs and what it actually is like to do that job. Especially if you're out there kind of wondering if you want to change careers, or if you're young enough to want to start like thinking about what do I want to do. Hopefully this provides a little bit of inspiration and some info too. Yeah, because I feel like yours is one that anyone who ever is like every girl who's like in middle school who like discovers her first like makeup palette is like, I was born to do this.
Which was me at one point.
Totally. So it sounds like you've always sort of gravitated towards makeup as a fun place for you.
Absolutely.
So I'd love to hear about how you got started in it. Yeah. Because I mean, as your cousin, I kind of like know, this was her like job history, but I don't think I've ever heard the story of what really drove you to switch careers. Yeah. Because I think that's a big deal to go from like an office job to something that's completely freelance.
It was. Well, yeah, like you said, it was something I always gravitated towards. I loved makeup and skincare and beauty and the idea of transforming your face. So I kind of knew I always wanted to do it, but I didn't have the confidence to kind of start off from, square one right out of college and kind of do that all by myself. So I got a job and I had a full-time job, and I decided, if I'm ever going to do this, I have to just do it. And I quit and I went to makeup school, and I called up a family friend who was in the industry, and I said, hey, I'm available to assist, and I'd love if you could hire me on a job. And she did. And then she started introducing me to other makeup artists in the industry, and I started assisting them, and it just kind of went from there. Yeah. But
the other thing, for what it's worth, Erica was amazing at her office job. You were an office manager, and you like had that thing running.
I enjoyed that job too. I just the longevity of it. It wasn't something I saw myself doing forever, and makeup was something I was passionate about. And it was like, if I could do something I was passionate about that could take me through my life, and that it's something I could get paid to do that I really like. I just was like, I have to go for it, and if I don't, I'll regret it.
How would you describe what you do?
So I'm considered a beauty makeup artist, and what that means is just that I don't really do special effects. So I do beauty, and I make people look pretty, which is, not a bad
More
gig.
Fun anyway, Who cares about zombies?
Yeah. There's so many different terms, but I'd say that the blanket term would be professional makeup artist.
Cool.
Kind of encompasses all areas.
It sounds like, first off, that when you're getting started in a creative freelance job, but especially something like makeup, it's really about networking.
It's totally about networking, and it's about, you really have to let your pride go and do whatever comes along. And it was hard, I'm not gonna lie. It was that first year was tough, because I was living on my own, so I had to pay all my own bills.
Oh gosh,
It wasn't, a lot of girls start out right out of high school, and so they can still live at home, which is a great thing, because in the beginning you don't have any clients. You have to build your client base, and so you're starting from nothing.
And you have to build your kit.
You have to build your kit,
people
which
don't
gets
think
really
of that,
expensive.
but you have to buy everything.
You have to buy everything. You do start getting, it's funny, the more stuff you end up accumulating and the farther into your career, when you don't really need any more product, is when you start getting free stuff. So in the beginning, you have to stock your kit, and there are some discounts and stuff like that that professionals get. But even to get those discounts, you have to show that you're a professional already. Yeah. And so straight off the bat, but there are some things you can absolutely get away with. Stocking your kit with cheaper stuff and build in, and it's never ending. I mean, I'm constantly buying stuff for my kit that's never going to stop. Yeah. So it's not like you all of a sudden have Insta-Kit. You also get to know what you like using. I mean, what I prefer to use isn't what another makeup artist prefers to use, and that's kind of comes with some experience and getting your hands in there and working on jobs. So
totally. Yeah. Well, I think too, as you start building out your kit, you start to have to find things that, at least like for me, as working as a food stylist in the past, like there's little tricks of the trade things you have to have that you wouldn't think of like having in a normal makeup bag.
No.
Like if someone has like a really bad zit, you need to know how to fix that.
Sure.
You know, or like how to, you know, if someone has like a scar, how do you cover that? Or tattoos, like you need to have that kind of stuff available.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the nice thing about living in Los Angeles or other major cities is that there's usually access to stores that carry stuff like that. And now with online, there's so much stuff you can buy online.
Yeah, the internet makes it easy.
Yes, but you do have to know what to look for, which is you don't in the beginning.
Yeah. So when did you first feel like you knew what you were doing? Like you were like, yeah, makeup artist. You know?
You know, I think when I finally felt like I had, I guess, arrived, so to speak, is when I got my agent. That was kind of like a big moment when I was like, okay, somebody else thinks that I'm worth marketing. So that felt really good. When I started getting my own jobs, you know, when I started becoming what's called a key makeup artist instead of an assistant. And a key is when you're the head or lead makeup artist on the job.
That must have been like an exciting moment to realize that like, oh, well, I'm not working for someone. I'm in charge of everything. So you're the responsible
And
one.
Even when you're starting out, you're your own boss. You're getting your own jobs and you're making sure that, I mean, you're marketing yourself from day one. So it was hard for me to go from a full-time job where I had a boss to being my own boss. It was a new experience and I had to get used to that for sure.
Makeup just seems innately glamorous. Like when you talk about beauty, it's just like, oh, it's amazing. It's great. So I'm curious, what was your most glamorous moment on the job where you're just like, yes? And then what was your least glamorous moments on the job?
Getting to, you know, see new places and meet really interesting people, that is a great perk of the job. The least glamorous, I would have to say, is I think some people don't realize you're not just showing up on a movie set doing makeup and leaving. I mean, you're staying there usually the whole day. Sometimes waking up at 3-4 in the morning to get to set. You have to lug all of your stuff with you. Hygiene for some, it can be an issue. Like someone comes in with really dirty hair, or they've been out all night the night before and they did not wash their face. I mean, certain little things like that can be a bummer, but honestly, you know, it's not too horrible.
I'm curious, like, what's the type of work you do as an assistant makeup artist when you're first starting out?
It really depends on who you're assisting, and everyone has a different way of doing things, but some people have you set up your stuff in order to prep people's skin, and then they will do the makeup, or sometimes you'll be doing the men and the lead makeup artist will be doing the women, or it's split evenly, and sometimes you're just on set, so the key makeup artist will be getting the talent ready, models, actresses, whoever it is, and then you'll be on set while they're finishing up.
So you're doing like touch-ups,
touch-ups, powder, exactly. Making sure that it looks good on camera, stepping in when you need to.
So what's been like the worst moment on the job and the best? Like what's been one where you just were like, oh, and then another one where you felt really like triumphant?
I feel like in situations like that, it's almost like they're the same. So like when you're thrown into something that's horrible, but it ends up working out, and you're like, wow, it feels so accomplished that you made it work. And I remember this one job, I was doing an album cover for a singer, and I had washed all my brushes the night before, and I forgot to pack them in my kit. So when I went to open my kit, I had everything but my brushes, which is, you know, if you're a painter or anything and brushes the way you use, I mean, to be a makeup artist, you really need your brushes. And I had to make it work with like my fingers and Q-tips. And she looked great. And it was kind of an accomplishment. You know, I was so stressed out in the beginning, and it was really kind of like sweating bullets when I was like, how am I going to make this work? And then you just have to make it work with whatever you have, because, you know, what are you going to do? You can be prepared for whatever, but there are those curveballs that get thrown at us at work, and you just kind of have to roll it off, and, you know, it's just makeup. At the end of the day, I have to just say, you know what, it's just makeup, and I'm going to do my best, and that's as good as it can be.
That's great. Yeah. So what advice would you give to someone who wants to be a makeup artist? They're either thinking of switching careers like you did, or maybe they're young and they're thinking, oh, I really love doing this for myself and for my friends. What would you say to them?
I would say, get out there and take any job, go and put your name out there. You really have to be your own networker. So as much as you can. Take any and all jobs. Honestly, even if they're horrible, you'll learn something. And then also assist as long as possible, because that's where you're really going to meet new people and expand your client base. So, you know, say you start assisting someone and they're not available and they recommend you for a job, that's a way you can get in and start getting your own clients. So I would say just really plug at it and get your name out there as much as possible.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Well, please, guys, make sure to check out Erica on all of her social media. We have it down below, but Erica_Davidson.
And yep,
that's on Instagram post. Please make sure to check her out there. And thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate it. This was
pleasure.
so fun. Yeah. All right, bye, guys.
Bye.